Welcome back, everybody. This is Treason from Within, number 7. People with English or Scottish names. So, this refers to the people in the country who um, actively have worked against the interests of the native Irish in this country who have English second names. And this is not to demonize them, but it is to show how um, I know I have relatives who have English second name, and I know that there is a very close friend of that relative who also has an English second name, and I believe that person was working for an anti-racism NGO. And I believe what he was doing was he was posting constantly about 2 years ago, 3 years ago. He was constantly posting on Facebook articles about how we should feel guilty, we as white people, because I could see no other connection. He was showing things like King Philip of Belgium. Is Belgium or Luxembourg? I think it's Belgium, and his atrocities in the Belgian Congo. And he'd put up his own statement next to it, which would say, it would say something like, "We should all feel bad about this, what has happened here and all of this in the Congo, and this monster, this whatever." And he was basically, then I would challenge him on it, and I would say, "Look, I said that this was at a particular time, and it wasn't the people of the country. It was the elites who were actually doing this. It wasn't the actual people of the country." And I said, "I don't think we should feel guilty for this. And then at a later stage, he put up another post of similar, and he would say, and he would actually then, what they call double down on what he had said. And he'd say, "We should all feel collective guilt for what has happened in the past in Africa or in some African country." I can't remember which it was. But, and again, like this is impossible. You understand? First off, they were Belgian. We're Irish. Why is he putting up these posts? This is a grown man with a family and a supposedly intelligent man, a bright man, putting up these posts saying, we should all feel guilty that we have treated Africans like this. Why? Why? First off, we're Irish. We have no history in this whatsoever. None. No history of treating any Africans or anybody badly. We ourselves were a colonized nation. That's one thing, right? See, I think this comes about because these people feel they're not Irish because of their English ancestry in this country. And this is really unfortunate because they then have been weaponized through the love of money to take money from anti-racist NGOs. And we all know that there are I don't know how many, and there's many anti-racism NGO groups in this country, all funded by the government. Even though they're a non-governmental organization, NGOs, they are partially funded by the government. And they're also funded by multi-billionaire, multi-trillionaire interests from outside of the country who has no right to influence the cohesion of Irish identity or Irish feeling of patriotism, to suppress that from the outside and then use people who are inside the country who have a failing in believing that they are Irish because they have English names. You understand? This is really saddening to me because they're working against the cohesion of a country, the ability of a country to hold its borders strong, hold its identity strong, but to break that down so that the people outside the country can then enact their will in here, in this country. They're not seeing the bigger picture. They're only seeing One, the cash that will flow into their wallet temporarily. And they're not seeing ahead, further ahead into the future about the well-being of the people of this country. They can't see all the dynamics. They can't see it all because they're flawed and human. They're limited. You understand? It's when you think you're your own God, you feel you can do these things. You understand? You're not you elevate yourself above and beyond your position in life and how far you can go. You become, that's for another video. But this video is about people who falsely believed that they weren't Irish because of their English names. They in my eyes, they're Irish because their families were here during the signing of the proclamation and the creation of the Irish Constitution. They're as Irish as us. And I know that they're thinking to themselves, well, their ancestors came here only a couple of hundred years ago. And so everybody can come here from all over the world. And I will actively, in a humane way, allow for that to happen because that's the humane thing to do. There's people coming here from Albania and Georgia where there is no conflict. You understand? There's people coming here from India, from Brazil, where there is no conflict. Thousands, tens of thousands, into our little country. This is usurping and removing the right, a sovereign right of a people to their homeland. You understand? It really saddens me that those people with English second names whose ancestors go back hundreds of years in this country don't see the collective reason for collectivizing with other Irish in the country, for keeping a country for their own children and their grandchildren. It's very nearsighted and myopic to have behaved in this way, because Europe, Britain and Ireland is being flooded with people from all over the world, and it's being done for reasons, for good reasons, economic, religious, ideological. And the people of these lands have the right to their own lands. If you believe that Nigerians have a right to Nigeria, if you believe that Congolese have a right to the Democratic Republic of the Congo, then you must also believe that the Irish have a right to Ireland.